Welcome to the October 30th, 2022 meeting of the Pirate National Committee. I am the chair, Anthony J. We've got a lot to do today, so I'm just going to go ahead and get into it. I would like IDs from everyone, though I can't see your faces because of my internet. So I'm just going to go off of memory, and if I miss someone, I miss someone. Is Illinois with us?
Yes, hello. I am Mitch DeVillo of the Chicagoland chapter of the Illinois Pirate Party. I am the Swarm Care Manager of the United States Pirate Party and the President of the U.S. Citizens for Lula da Silva.
That last part is not true. I don't think.
No, don't look that up. There is no. That's I'm joshing you.
However, thanks. California?
Hi, my name is Rose Klein, also known as Yari. I am the Secretary of the U.S. Pirate Party, or of the PNC, and the California State Rep.
All right, thank you. Is Kentucky with us?
No, I don't think so.
No? Okay, Pennsylvania?
Drew Bingaman, captain of the Pennsylvania Pirate Party.
All right, thank you, Drew. Massachusetts?
James O'Keefe, captain of the Massachusetts Pirate Party, subbing in for Joe Honorowski, and also U.S. Pirate Party auditor.
All right, thank you so much. And do we have the representative from Indiana? I didn't see them.
I don't think so.
Okay, I will take that as a no. We do have a quorum though. On top of that, we also have an observer member potentially wanting to observe for New Jersey. Could you give yourself an ID? So that's just name, state, that sort of thing.
Should I go first?
Oh, are there multiple?
Yeah, I think so. Benjamin McCrae, New Jersey Pirate Party, as an observer today.
All right. Any other New Jersey observers?
Well, no.
Okay. I didn't see multiple, but I was going to take your word for it. And then I believe we have one more guest who wanted to speak about one of the motions, and that is Alex Darlington. Alex, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yo, what's up? My name's Alex Darlington. I'm the chairman of the Stair Party, and I'm glad to be here again.
We love having you on, Alex. Is there anyone else I missed?
Nope.
I'm going to take that as a no. Whoever's playing the spooky Halloween music, thank you. I will not put on my costume again for fear of being bullied online. So let's get into the meeting. Let me look at the agenda. We have a lot to go over today. So it was proposed by California. I believe that we might want to consider making some sort of motion to hear some items out of order or just in a different order. As of right now, the first thing going on is a motion proposed by California to have reports by all officers made a part of the agenda, sent to the secretary, or added to the wiki agenda before each meeting. Is this something we want to entertain, or do we want to skip it for now?
A point of, can I just, I don't know what this is. This is just a request. Drew, I think the spooky Halloween music is coming from
Is that
you.
from me?
Yeah, it's from you.
I think so.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Yeah.
Just mute when you're not talking.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Jamie
you.
said something about my microphone quality. Let me turn it off. I meant to turn off the microphone quality, not turn me off entirely. Hold on.
I think you just need to move close to it. Like when you're moving, when you're close to it, we can hear you really well, and then you'd sit back and you'd kind of fade out.
Well, I don't think it's that because my microphone is right here on my headphones. I think it's just a bad microphone.
Okay, you sound good now. Thank you.
Do I sound okay right now? Let me.
Yes. Yes, you do.
You do sound good now.
Okay, if I sound good now, I'll just continue this way. Okay, we got that out of the way. We had another point of order about spooky Halloween music that we got out of the way. Old business item. Do I need to repeat it? I will. A motion proposed by California. Oh wait, no. We need to do reports. I'm getting ahead of myself. Reports. We will start with officer reports. Secretary, do you have anything to report?
Yes, I made sure that I went through all of the meetings for this
You might be
year
cutting
so
out.
far. I probably am. Skip me and come back to me then.
Okay. Swarm care.
Just on behalf of Swarm Care, I want to say welcome to New Jersey. But past that, there is no report otherwise.
All right. Thank you so much. Secretary, Swarm care. Auditor, do you have anything to report?
I do not at this moment.
All right, then.
For auditor, for IT, I have something.
Yeah. Okay. We will get to committees as well. I did prepare a chair's report, so we'll just go past that section and we will go to committees. IT committee.
So Yari and I set up a donation system. People can now go to uspirates.org and choose the donate menu, choose how much they want to donate, where there are like 5 different options between $12 or $12.50 and $200. And they can donate. We were able to test that. I'm just waiting for Joe and I Joe has to check the bank account to make sure it got through, but it got through the system. It's in our records. Woohoo.
All right. Thank you so much. I am very excited about that. You all have been doing fantastic work over there. Are there any reports for the platform committee?
No, on top of work, the Bears played Monday Night Football, so we were busy, so I had to cancel the meeting.
That's all right. I fully understand. I do not believe we've done anything particularly substantial for outreach either, and I say that because I feel like I would have remembered it. I might have talked to someone here or there, but again, I didn't make a report. That was not my primary focus this week. So with reports out of the way, I'm going to assume there are no objections to that, but I should give you the opportunity. Any objections to the reports given? I will take that as a no, and now we can move on to.
I would like to actually. I should say I would like to interject really quickly.
Yes.
Yeah, and throw my report in the ring here, which is to say, hopefully I'm not breaking up right now, and say that I went through, in addition to the website stuff, I went through and updated all of the motions and changes, and made sure we were current. Double checked and made sure we were current on all the motions and changes that had happened in the meetings for this year on the wiki. So all of those should be good. I'm going to make another pass for all the notes soon, and then make another pass and hopefully start making the UI easier.
All right. Thank you so much. That is excellent news. I'm also really excited about what's happening to our wiki, or what will happen to our wiki. Okay. Thank you for objecting and giving the report, because I forgot. Are there any other objections to the reports? All right. Thank you so much. We will move on. Technically, our next item of business is a motion proposed by California to have reports by all officers made a part of the agenda, sent to the secretary, or added to the wiki agenda before each meeting. How do we feel about that? Would we like to discuss it? Is there a motion to adopt it?
I'll second it if it's a motion.
It's
Oh,
not.
Request that be repeated one more time, AJ.
Okay. It was motioned by California. A motion proposed by California to have reports by all officers made a part of the agenda, sent to the secretary, or added to the wiki agenda before each meeting. So basically, it is a function to ensure that the agenda is, complete, and that all of the reports are in before we have the meeting. In text form.
I Drew, you seconded that, correct? Or
I did, yeah.
Okay, discussion or debate?
Sounds
I
good.
move we vote on it if no one objects.
Okay.
Unless there is something that I don't want to interrupt anybody if they do have something they want to say. Then I motion to vote.
I'm hearing you call the
The
question.
proper phrasing is call the question.
Okay,
Thank you. I'm
We'll call the
sorry.
question.
I've only been here for a few years now. Call the question.
okay. I'm just gonna do it. Pennsylvania,
I
California,
Aye.
Illinois,
Aye.
and Massachusetts.
I
Okay, that passes unanimously. Our next item of old business is the Pan-Americanism platform plank that has been in the works. Mitch, I would like to give you the floor for this one, or we can switch up the order because that is a tool in our toolbox.
So the plank, as it was last edited, is the head that Yari had put together. I had edited from there. If you wish to look at it, I tried to split it up as best I can to what was, I thought, general foreign policy versus what was more Pan-American centered foreign policy. I don't believe I changed anything that would drastically alter it. I took everyone's considerations in mind. I personally, my stance is I feel very strongly on it. If it looks good, I would like to pass it tonight if possible. But if not, if there's still things to work on, I would rather have a perfect plank than one where pure so-so on.
point of information.
Apologize. I will seek out the link real quick and post it in the chat for everybody.
Thank
Okay.
you.
I have the demonstration right now.
Yara, you are cutting out again. Okay, they posted the link in chat. All right, where is the discussion leading us? Do we want to have a vote? Do we want to talk about the plank? Naturally, I will give us time to read it.
So I do apologize. I think I was I believed I had Yari's. I believe it was a different one. I do believe that is the first draft. So let me find the one that I did edit. I apologize. I think the one everyone's reading is the previous draft before I split it up.
Okay.
Oh, then that's my fault. Whoops. Thank you, Mitch.
So are we waiting for a different link?
Yes.
do
Seems
we want to
like
move on to the next item while
We-
Mitch finds that?
We can make that a motion.
I will make that a motion.
Oh, Mitch found it.
I apologize. I found the one I was looking for.
Okay. I will give everyone a few minutes to read over this.
Please share it in the YouTube comments.
Yes, that would be good as well. I don't think I have the ability to do that right now.
Likewise, I will share that to the Pirate Council on the Discord.
Dankeschön.
For those in the YouTube chat, there's the other link.
I have a comment, but I will leave that until everyone else has discussed.
Mitch, are you making this a motion to adopt?
Not until let's have discussion first. I want to make
Well,
sure that we're all in agreement.
Technically, that's not how it works. We have to motion for it, and then we'll have discussion. Now,
Okay, I motion to adopt.
I will second it, and then we can talk about it.
Okay, there we go. Oh, I guess Yari's been gone. Oh, internet, yes. Okay, we will enter discussion.
It says you call for an abolishment of borders, but same with states, or how do you mean?
I apologize. What's the question?
I'm reading the foreign policy where it says we call for an abolition of borders, and I'm wondering if that means also state borders.
I mean, I don't see why not. When you're talking about borders within these United States, as it stands, the border is just an imaginary line. We have free movement as it is. I think what's within the United States is a good model of how the rest of the world can operate and just move around.
So this would be an abolition of borders through the Americas themselves, like not just the United States, but all.
I do believe I put the abolition of borders under the general foreign policy. I do think that the free movement of Americans within the Americas is of the utmost importance, but not having borders worldwide, I feel, is a pirate goal.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. Just double checking.
I will bounce off of that actually and say, I hate to hold this up for longer, but I think that we should think about how we're framing the border thing, because a lot of people will just read that and think, oh, we're wacky, fringe opinion that's I have a statistically good chance of finding scary. I don't know what that means either. And that can cause an issue for us. I think that maybe we should try and figure out how to properly spell out what exactly we mean when we say abolition of borders, and maybe even use states as an example. Yari, you had your hand up first.
I agree with the thrust of what you just said. I think I don't like. It's not a fringe opinion, is I think the first thing I was reacting to. It's not a fringe opinion at all, but yes, explaining that a bit more can be helpful. To the point though is that and couching it in language that frames it as a.
I do want to clarify.
General...
I'm not even necessarily saying that everything I said was 100% true. I'm saying that there is a perception of this opinion that we could help fight with the explanatory language that we love so much.
And since I agree with you.
Mitch? I'm sorry, Yari, are you done? Okay, Mitch?
Yep.
I will just say that I believe the issue of borders is probably one of the opinions you're going to find more universal amongst pirates. I don't believe that this is an issue we should waver on. I think that most pirates, if not all pirates, should believe in the abolition of borders. And I feel like anyone who truly believes in it would be able to put up a good argument for it. I feel like the arguments against it usually boil down to certain talking points, but never boil down to thought and logic. We are talking about an imaginary line that governments drew up that decide what is and isn't a citizen of a certain area. We're better than that. We're human-centric. We are worldwide. We are multicultural. We're not trying to erase borders and say now we're all one people group. You can't be multicultural without having multiple cultures. We are sharing in each other's cultures, and we're saying you're not limited to travel, and you're not prevented from sharing in our culture because you don't have a passport or you don't have a visa. It is an issue I don't think we should waver on. That is all I have to say.
before we get to Jamie, I do want to respond and say I'm not saying we should waver on it at all. I'm just saying we should figure out how we want to phrase it. That's all I'm saying. I 100% agree with everything you just said. I just think that and maybe this is a battle I'm losing, and I'm completely willing to admit that, but I do still think that we have that we do and have and will have a perception issue with the run-of-the-mill voter, even one that has attitudes that lean our way. We have to get them there, and I just want to make sure we continue to think about that. Jamie.
Sorry, may I actually say something?
Hold on, Drew is next, I think.
Oh,
Sorry.
Drew is next. Sorry, Drew, Jamie, and then if you raise your hand, we can get to you as well. Do you know how to do that?
I don't know how to actually. Oh, that's in the actual
The little
meeting?
hand. Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
So I don't think this is something that's too far gone. It's not. I don't see this as a fringe opinion, but maybe if we specify that we advocate for the freedom of movement of people and goods, I don't know how it could be any more clear that that's our intent. Not necessarily to erase jurisdictional borders, but to, it's the same thing. Look, if I want to go to New York or New Jersey, I just drive there. There isn't anybody at the line to hassle me, right? So that's the idea. And while there are laws on smuggling things from one state to another, which I think should also be abolished, if you can get it legal in one state, it should be legal in another. And if but anyways, that's maybe just adding as an extra statement about freedom of movement of people and goods, or people in whatever. That just to clarify.
All right, thank you, Drew. Jamie, I believe you're next.
I mean, the people who are going to take this the wrong way aren't going to listen to us no matter what we say. But I think the point is we have to come up with language that's going to adequately communicate what we say. And when we go and we say we believe in abolishing all borders, and then, Mitch, you're turning around and saying, well, but we're still going to have borders. We're just going to let people cross them. Then we should say, well, we want to let people cross them, not the United States is going to go away and be replaced. Someone could misinterpret it, I'm just saying, to mean, not making the distinction between U.S. states, which is what we're trying to say. We're saying that it should be as easy to go from New York to Texas as it is to go from Colombia to Canada, right? And so then we should just say that and not say anything about abolishing borders, because someone's going to misinterpret that to mean we want to throw out the Constitution and replace it with whatever they have south of the border, whatever stupidity they're going to come up with. So I just think we should be exact in our language. That's it.
And I will comment on that and say that's actually another good point that Jamie brought up is when we're creating these things, platform planks, talking points, we aren't just thinking about how we're going to attract voters. We're also thinking about how we will be able to best defend ourselves against political attacks. And this leaves us wide open for Fox News to come in with a giant hammer whenever they need to and wipe us out. I'm not saying we should compromise on our values because of that. I just think it's something we do need to think about. And again, we should say what we mean and mean what we say. There's a hand up. I believe that's the one from New Jersey, correct?
Yes.
All right.
This is actually an issue that I have worked on for many years. And in all honesty, instead of saying abolishment of borders, just say open borders. And then listen to the concerns of the people who don't like open borders. What they were concerned about is people coming in illegally or not getting any visas or doing anything like that to establish who they are when they come into our country. So making sure at our legal ports of entry that we actually have like immigration courts and social services and things like that, so that as soon as they come in, they can get all the care and paperwork done very easily and then move on from there. And people won't really have a problem with the borders being open because everyone will be vetted when they come in. And won't have to worry too much about it.
All right, thank you. I like what you're contributing to this conversation already. I just want to throw that out there. Drew.
I just to respond to that, I think it's a very good idea for us to be not okay. Let me put it this way. What you were talking about there, as far as like a practical way to lessen the issues at the border, that's not something I would put into a platform. What I would put into a platform is where we want to be. You know, this is the position we advocate for. If we're in government, we're not just going to you can't just necessarily flip a switch in a lot of things. You have to, you know, Alex, here's one for you. You have to take steps.
I like that.
So, you know, we need to advocate in our platform where we want to be. What is our ideal? You know, and if somebody says you really going to have abolish, you know, everything, I don't know of any single person in the United States that has the power to do that by themselves. So if it has, yes, I'm going to advocate for that, but can I alone do that? No, I need other people that want to do it too. And it needs popular, you know, doesn't necessarily need popular support, but it should have popular support. So I think we need to advocate for where we want to be. And that's what should be in the platform. And if that's fixing it so that it specifically says, I like freedom of movement rather than saying open borders, because I think open borders is sort of a dog whistle to some people. So that's it. That's what I got.
All right, we're going back to New Jersey.
All right, yeah, I just wanted to come. I mean, I do understand what you say. It's very hard to figure out exactly which words won't instantly trigger somebody to be like, "Brah." But also working on our ideals. I know that the ideals of the Pirate Party are very extreme, and I've been trying to find a middle ground to help us get to that ideal. So that's what my basic ideas were in the first place. It's like the middle ground. It's like to get them started. A little bit of like, hey, look, it's still a little secure, but you know, eventually we'll get to the point where we can just open them right up, not even have to worry about it. But you got to get people used to that first. That's all.
Okay. Any other discussion from anyone? Any more raised hands? All right, Mitch.
If you would all look back to the note, I have, with the conversation we've been having in mind, changed the phrasing of open borders to free movement of all peoples. If it is good with everybody, I would like to call the question for adoption with the current, as it is written.
Okay, so you would like us to just call the question. No amendments, we're just calling the question.
Well, just as you see it, if it looks good to you all, I believe it was the one point of contention, and with it being corrected, I would like to call the question.
Okay. Shoot, someone might have to help me with my Roberts, but I believe that requires a second and then a vote on calling the question. Is that correct?
No.
Technically it does, but we don't have to do that.
We only have.
I'll
4 people.
second it.
Okay. Okay. We are going to take the vote on adopting this platform plank as it is written. California.
To clarify, we're voting on adoption. Correct?
Adoption as it is written. Unless that is not Mitch's intent.
It is.
Okay.
Aye.
Aye. Illinois.
Aye.
Massachusetts.
Aye.
Pennsylvania.
I guess because it's a winner anyways. So
Yeah. All right. Congratulations, Mitch. I know you've been trying to get this through for weeks. I'm so sorry about that, but we're done.
Well, thank you all for, we got it done. And I promise now the platform committee can move forward doing things again, starting tomorrow.
I guess next pet project of yours is
Clarification.
probably yes.
Point of clarification for myself as a secretary. This is then being added to the official core U.S. Pirate Party platform, and not just the list of approved platform positions. Do I have that correct?
Yes, this was to the United States Pirate Party platform.
Because this was approved by the entire PNC. Cool.
I want to actually. I want to ensure that all 4 voting states knew that this was for the platform and not the optional positions. Is that correct?
I did.
Okay, because that might change the vote. Pennsylvania, did
No
you
change. We're good.
Okay, Massachusetts, did you understand that?
Aye.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Okay, so what I was gonna say is, I guess the next thing you want to make us do is probably LVT. Is that right, Mitch?
Next thing we want to what now? Oh, LVT?
Yeah.
I am debating it. I don't know if I want to make all the states do it, but it's a good and right idea. So I think I'm like, I'll let you know. We'll see how platform feels.
Lay the groundwork in the platform and
Yes.
leave LVT to the states.
It's good idea.
Lay the groundwork, land value.
Yeah, the land usage issue. Just
lay the land usage.
Yeah, lay the land usage. Yep, that's the idea.
All right.
Request to move on to the next point.
Yes, we will. Our next item of new business is the New Jersey request to be admitted into the PNC. However, I believe New Jersey actually just came for information and to be an observer. Is that correct?
No, I'm trying to get us to start our party and be a part of the PNC.
Yes. But I think there was something we talked about this either before or at the start of the meeting. That is a process, and I doubt that we'd be able to do it all tonight.
So understandably, I can wait.
Yeah.
Well, can I?
Do you disagree?
California is happy to sponsor. California is happy to sponsor.
Okay.
If New Jersey can demonstrate eligibility in at least, you know, if
Tell
New
me
Jersey
how,
can
and I'll get it
demonstrate
done.
eligibility.
Yeah.
Well, this is the thing, right? Do you have I mean, the main thing is do you have an active web presence by which prospective members can easily contact you?
Not yet.
Then next.
Yes. All right, Mitch, you want
I'll
to
work on that. Don't worry.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And
I
we
just
will
want to
help you
stay on
through
the
it.
point
That's
of
what
New
I'm trying to
Jersey.
say. We will help you through it. Sorry, Mitch, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I just want to say on the point of New Jersey that they do have a Twitter that Michael created. I do believe it's been a minute since they've posted, but they do have a Twitter account. I do remember them securing, I think it was either njpp.org or njpirates.org. It was something like that. But there was a website I remember them securing the domain for. So, Ben, I think you guys are actually closer than you might think. It's just going to take a little refining, and then you'll be PNC members in no time.
Yeah, like I said, as long as you guys can help out New Jersey, we're more than happy to help on the PNC level.
Absolutely. Jamie, you wanted to say something.
No, I withdraw my question.
Okay. Is there any more discussion on the New Jersey requests admittance? Is there anyone else who wants to make a bid, or should we just stick by New Jersey, help them sort this all out, and admit them in a couple weeks?
The latter.
The latter.
All right. Sounds good. I'm excited for it either way. Let's see. 1 second.
Same here.
Well, I know Michael's been excited since our initial outreach stunt to the Libertarians. Let's see. All right. Here it is, everybody. It's at 9:44, so fasten your seatbelts. We're going to be here for a while. Next is a motion suggested by California to adopt the following changes to the bylaws. I'm not reading them all out, but this is the chair dissolution proposal. You can find all of them on the wiki. All of the changes to the bylaws on the wiki. Yari also posted a document that I posted on the Discord. There are multiple ways to read the changes. I will give you 5 minutes to look over that once again before we make any motions to debate.
I am still trying to find this thing.
Ben, it actually just got posted in the Discord under the Pirate Council. Thank you, Yari, for posting that. So if you go there, you can find the PDF. It's a 5-page proposal. But you could find the link.
but there's also yeah.
Sorry, I was going to say I read it earlier. I just had a hard time trying to find it again.
There's
there
also the wiki link.
All right. I'm going to ask you, please post that to the YouTube as well.
Yari, is that a motion or are we just reading it over?
AJ said 5 minutes for people to read it over, but then it is a motion as soon as.
I'm letting
Yes.
everyone read it over, but it's also a motion. We can resume whenever. I just figured I'd
I
give
mean,
them
I'll give you the second on it, so we can
It's a
go that
motion.
If everyone's ready to come back, we can. But it's probably the longest motion that I've tackled. So
Those bylaws changes got to go together. I mean, you could cut some of them for what Drew said on the Discord.
Although after reading it, going back and reading it again, it does say that there's no limit or any need for anybody to change on the secretary side, the note taker.
Or the chair side.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
so they'd
it's
be
just,
the same.
It's just every week there's an opportunity for it. And I didn't even say chair, it would be really more like facilitator. Are there any questions? Like clarification questions?
well, we have a motion and I believe a second from Pennsylvania, so we can just get all of the discussions started, and we can start with clarification questions.
If there's any clarification questions, I think I'd like to just get those out of the way first. If that's okay.
I'm going to rule it motioned and seconded because it was. First, let's start with clarification questions directed towards California. Are there any?
I wrote a clear document. Hell yeah. Okay, cool.
What?
Good to know.
Yari,
Well,
you're
Well, it's
cutting
not
out.
like you didn't surprise us with this, so
Oh, you said clear document. Woohoo. Okay, yeah.
That's true. That's true. I didn't surprise you.
All right. Who wants to speak first? Mitch.
Yeah, I feel like I've said my piece, so please.
Okay. Mitch, you go.
So initially,
Oh yeah, I was just going to say, everyone, please do raise your hands if you want to go.
this was initially something I was having second thoughts on, and initially something that I was beginning to backtrack on. But admittedly, after reading Yari's proposal, I do think it is probably the most practical, and it's praxis essentially for the pirates. Anyone who's followed pirate lore lately knows I've been on a guild trip. That I think the system works really, really well. And I feel as though this is a system of leadership that most represents a structure of guildship, of swarms, of being able to be essentially everyone's a leader, but we're leaderless. We are together as a unit as the leadership role. That people can still take up a leadership role and lead the meetings without being the leader and the one who's ahead of anyone else. This is still keeping us a party of equals. It keeps the state parties equal and just gives everyone the opportunity to step up and be a leader, if for a meeting, if for a month, if for a year. So I have full support of this motion as it stands. I do maintain that as we get larger, there is going to be a need to address the size of PNC meetings. But until that day comes, I will withhold any comments of regional direction, but note that when that day comes, it will be brought up again.
Okay, thank you, Mitch. Is everyone all right if we move on to Jamie? We will move on to Jamie.
So one of the assertions here is that we should remove single points of failure, which the last time I believe we went through, that was one thing we were going to look at, was how do we become more distributed within the chair, captain, first officer dynamic. I mean, I'll point out we have various positions such as secretary or quartermaster that are single points of failure, and they all have backups potentially. So I'm not sure how getting rid of the chair, if we want to remove single points of failure, then shouldn't we just get rid of quartermaster, secretary, all positions, and just, I don't know, randomly rotate them or something? I don't quite understand that assertion.
Okay, does anyone want to respond to Jamie before we go to Alex? All right, we will go to Alex.
I got to think about that for a bit first.
Okay, then Alex, we will let you go.
What's up, everyone? So I actually prepared a document, a bit of an abstract, as well as some points after reading over the document that I wanted to go over. So in my experience working within bureaucracies, I have noticed that the bureaucracies that lack a decisive and strong leader or have no official leadership position whatsoever have been the most inefficient bureaucracies that I have observed. When I started the Stair Party, much of the structure of my party has been influenced by what I've witnessed in the Green Party of Pennsylvania. The Green Party bureaucracy is one of the most convoluted and slow-moving institutions that I have ever seen. This is mainly due to the fact that there is no individual with the authority or responsibility to make a decision for the betterment of all who participate within said party. When we observe the course of history, we come to find that even in times where a leadership position is not officially announced, there is always an individual who will take the mantle. By abolishing the chairman and vice chairman status in the United States Pirate Party, You do not eliminate leadership personalities, but you eliminate the ability for these leadership personalities to keep the ball moving and the cogs turning. Furthermore, when one abolishes such a high-status leadership position, it sets a negative connotation towards leadership, and therefore a new sluggish culture will follow suit. This is what happened in the Green Party, and this is what will happen in the Pirate Party. I advise that do not, under any circumstances, attempt to hinder or abolish the ability for leaders to help your party or risk continuous mediocrity. The quote-unquote single point of failure that is mentioned throughout the USPP chair dissolution document will not be found in the position of chairman. On the contrary, the single point of failure for the Pirate Party will be the dissolution of a chairman position. Some important things that I wanted to mention in the document is that the wrong person in charge could spell ruin for the United States Pirate Party. And what I would see is that the chairman is an elected position from the National Committee or the council or whatever. And therefore, there's proper regulations and restrictions in order to make sure the correct leader is chosen. Many of the chair's responsibilities can be passed off to officers of the party. I would say a big responsibility of a chair is to also have checks and balances in which the chair makes sure that all officers are efficiently performing their responsibilities. A big responsibility of the officers to make sure that in response, the chair is keeping up with his duties and responsibilities, and that without a chairman's position, it's difficult to say that other officers who officially have equal power to other officers can wield the same authority that a chair could in a position where an officer remains stagnant and not performing his necessary duties and responsibilities. Quote unquote, there was a quote in the document saying, by dissolving the position of a chair, the PNC and the officers of the PNC can more effectively function. Duties which were previously only done by one person can be spread out among the group, leading to a more general shared understanding of community workload, greater communication and documentation of process, and greater efficiency over time as more redundancy in training is built up, allowing for better volunteer participation. I don't really understand what's being said here, and I just wanted to point it out because I don't understand how exactly abolishing a position where their main responsibility is to be the main decider in order to keep a bureaucracy functioning properly, make a bureaucracy effectively function. It goes back to that having no checks and balances. A more general shared understanding can happen by talking to one another. You don't need to abolish a position to understand a workload. Open communication is a much, much better option. Furthermore, abolishing a chair position doesn't create efficiency of bureaucracy. How exactly, when you divide work amongst multiple departments, do you create a more efficient bureaucracy? I.e., how do you create a more efficient bureaucracy? By creating more bureaucracy. And then the other point of having a chair position goes against the anti-authoritarian / direct democracy message of the party. I would say that leadership positions aren't inherently authoritarian. And in the case of having a democratically elected chair position, I don't see how that is authoritarian. And I don't see how a chairman position is anti-democratic because, again, you elect them. If the chairman is acting authoritarian or tyrannical, vote him out. And then just something to point out, this one's less important, but something I've noticed when working with other political parties and other organizations when it comes to the primary spokesman of the party thing. In my experience, when organizations look to work with another organization, they look to talk to a dedicated leader of said organization. I'm not saying you can't have like a public relations director manage the party's external relations, but parties and organizations wanting to work with the Pirate Party will, I would say, be put off and will naturally seek a chairman to talk to. So the reason I'm saying all this and the reason I'm speaking is because I don't want to see the Pirate Party. I love the Pirate Party and I like the people in it. And I don't want to see the Pirate Party go down the path that I saw the Green Party went down, and how inefficient their bureaucracy became. So that's why I'm speaking today, and that's why I really don't think you guys should abolish the chair position.
All right. Thank you, Alex. I believe both hand raises. Oh, no, well, 3 hand raises. Okay. Let me write this order down. I believe a lot of those were in response to Alex.
Mitch was first.
Yeah, we'll just go in order. Mitch.
So I would like to
reiterate that the point of this is to abolish the chair position for the United States Pirate Party, which is, as it stands, the U.S. Pirate Party is a collection of state parties, of which the state parties typically have state captains. We're not calling for the abolition of every state captain. We're simply calling for the abolition of the United States Pirate Party. I feel as though in this pirate movement and the way that pirates have historically operated, because mind you, I'm one to continuously call back to seafaring pirate history and say that is also part of our history. We are a large connected pirate movement. The captain was not meant to lead the people. The captain was elected by the people to represent the betterment of the people. And I feel as though having what we deem as a leader, our leader, is counterintuitive to what we're actually trying to present here. We are inevitably we are going to be 56 state parties and territory parties on equal ground. We have our own states that we manage, and then when we look at the national message, we'd be able to work together as a unit. Having someone that is a leader, quote unquote, the captain of the pirate party, I would only feel would make us seem as though that there is someone leading the cause. And this is a cause that goes beyond one person's leadership. I would like to make a call back to the late 19th century and Henry George's single tax movement. It was wildly popular. It was wildly successful, but Henry George was the leader in that movement, and he would not bend on any issues. When he died, the movement would end up dying. There is benefit to having a strong leader and a person that could be the face of everything, but abolishing a leadership title will not abolish leadership, period. We will probably have somebody that constantly volunteers to be the captain of whatever local meeting we're about, or whatever following meeting we're going to have. We're probably going to have natural leaders step up and say, well, I would like to lead the meeting. But it gives everyone the opportunity to say that. It doesn't put the hook on someone for the next year to say, hey, you are going to lead it, and also you better find another state rep because you can't vote anymore. Because the captain can't vote. Which, at some point, if Indiana wanted to vote, because as of right now, Indiana can't, if AJ wished to give up his title next week and Pennsylvania wanted to take over, Indiana once again has the right to vote. As it stands, unless Indiana has an alternate rep, which right now their alternate rep is not here, Indiana loses on the chance to vote, despite the interim captain of Indiana attending the meeting. I firmly believe in Yari's proposal. I understand, and there are many points I do agree with you, Alex. But I still think that this is for the betterment of the party. We're a party of state parties. We're a cooperative. And I think that abolishing this leadership position is not necessarily abolishing leadership. I think we will still find leaders in the party who are willing to step forward and make this party work. I think that putting that on the shoulders of one person moving forward is probably not praxis. So let's go pirate. I think it's more swarmy. It's more piratey. I think moving forward, it's the way we should do it.
Okay.
Yari was next.
Thank you, Mitch. Yes. Yari is next, then Jamie, then Hildra. I'm so sorry. I'm still remembering your name.
Yeah, it's Ben.
Okay, Ben. Yari, Jamie, Ben. Yari.
First things first. I just want to say that obviously, Alex, I appreciate that you're framing this from a place of care. You care about the Pirate Party, and you care about the future of this party, just as you care about the coalition of parties, and you care about the Stair Party. You care about this group flourishing and being successful, and I do too. I think this is an amazing group, and I want to see it succeed. I want to see this party continue to grow and flourish. It is reasonable. It is absolutely reasonable to be concerned about the future of this party under a system like this, when it is largely untested in groups of like in political parties, and when your experience with it has been vastly negative, and the group that has tried it, that you have experience with it, was not good, right? So I think it is reasonable, especially for you, to be like, hey, y'all, this is gonna suck. Don't fucking do it, right? That makes sense. I will say, counter to that, it is an experiment, for one. We can always change it back at any point. Two, right? To Mitch's point, right? This is following our ideals. This is pursuing our ideals. Three, I think also, we will continue to support each other and modify this if we need to. This is not a like, we're going to stop here and then stop changing. Like, that would be stupid, right? We're not, if we do this and then stop changing, that, no, right? We do this, and then if we adopt this motion, we then have the opportunity to find ways, still as
It looks like
Live
it's,
streaming
there we go.
is on.
Okay, we're back.
it looks like it's streaming again.
It goes back as soon as it says.
Yes.
Um,
Okay.
So, right, we've changed the bylaws like 4 times this year, and but I think the idea that I really want to posit here is just that we are already light on our feet, and that's because of the chair. That's not because of the organization of our system. That is primarily because we are a group of people who are pursuing those ideas, right? Who's looking at these documents and who's constantly saying, how can we update these according to these ideas that we want to live with, right? And how can we make this align better? At least that's how I see it. And so, I think, at least for me, these concerns that I'm hearing you say about the organization falling apart without a leader just don't ring true to me. They just don't. Like, it feels. I've seen. I hear what you're saying. Like, you've had bad experiences with organizations that have adopted this sort of model in the past, and that makes sense. And also, like, I've had good experiences with organizations that have adopted this model in the past. I don't have any experience with the Green Party, so I can't really speak to that. But I know that we'll be flexible either way. I know that we'll find a way to make it work. That's all I got. Oh, sorry. I wanted to say, actually, Jamie, I think your concern is a really well-rooted one, and I want to find a way. I still haven't figured out how to respond to it. I think it makes a lot of sense. The single point of failure thing. Yeah, I hope I didn't cut out for like 90% of that.
No, you were a little scratchy. Oh, I understood everything you said.
Okay, cool. That's all I got.
I believe next in line is Jamie.
So, Rick Falkving's Swarmwise book, page 61. The new part is the entire swarm around the scaffolding and the role that these officers, these geographical and functional leaders, must take in order to support it. One key insight is that the responsibility of the swarm leaders is not so much managerial as it is janitorial. Nobody answers to them, and their task is to make sure that the swarm has everything it needs to self-organize and work its miracles. Remember, leadership in a swarm is received through inspiring others, standing up, doing without asking permission, and leading by example. In this task, the various officers and leaders have no organizational advantage over other people in the swarm. Those who inspire others in a swarm cause things to happen. We don't really adhere as much to this, and it's certainly hard, but it gives us a template that we can use. One where officers are not dictatorial, but as Rick says, inspirational. I will point out that there is not, as far as I know, a single pirate party that does not have a chair. The Czechs don't, the Germans don't, the European Pirates Party doesn't, and certainly in the case of the Germans, they have multiple state parties. So for me, it is important to have someone who is our leader in the best sense of that term, and who is ultimately accountable to us, who we can choose to remove if we don't like them. Now, I know in the past we've talked about changing the bylaws so that rather than removing the whole board, we can remove a single individual. And I am happy to sit down with someone and write that, because I feel that would be a better thing. And if we have a chair who's not functioning correctly, we should remove them. But at the same time, we need that role. And we need that responsibility. We're going to have individuals who will come forth and want to do things, and we need places to slot them in. And some of those will be people who will want to lead us into greater and greater things. But if we don't have those positions, then they won't have those opportunities. So if we're concerned about state parties not having a vote because they're the chair, then state parties need to get organized, and they need to find other people to come in and step into those roles. Or we need to change the bylaws, one of the two. But I don't see that as a reason to get rid of a chair just because whomever happens to be the chair doesn't get a vote because their state party isn't getting enough people to go and be representative. And with that, I'll stop.
All right. Thank you, Jamie. I believe next is Ben.
All right. I just wanted to say I agree with Alex a lot on the fact that we should probably have somebody, in a chair position. So I'll just leave that. But Mitch, he was talking about pirate lore and things like that, and I was like, what do pirates do except for break the rules and do whatever they want? But you guys know I've been coming to these meetings for a little while and posting in the comments, and I myself have tried to join this because I indeed want to run for president, and I know that you guys have said that that's not a thing you do, and this is actually kind of the conversation we're having about it. As for what Yari said, if you guys do it right now and you want to change your minds later, if somebody steps up and you feel like they're necessarily, good for the job for actually being on the top, like president or something like that. Hopefully you would change your minds in the future. I know I don't have a vote on this matter, so I just wanted to say that and hopefully speak to you guys together on what a national platform might be able to look like for the pirates in the future. But I digress. That's all I have to say.
All right. Thank you, Ben. Let's see. Since, I don't know, it's okay. We will add Jamie to the list of speakers, and I will go ahead and say real quick, since she was not able to make it, I do want to mention the one main thing that Liz Gorski, who used to be a volunteer for New York, said to me when we were talking about this, which is one of her big concerns is it's sort of a loophole in the bylaws, in her opinion at least, that we're even able to not have a vice chair. And a point she wants to elucidate to us that she was talking to me about is that when it comes to the workload portion, she would really want to make sure that the chair always has a vice chair, and that she thinks that would help fix the workload problem. That's all I have for that. I just wanted to throw that out there. I believe next is Drew.
I put my hand down.
Okay, Yari is next.
I think that's a really good point, and at the very least, if this doesn't pass, I think that the what's it called? The mutiny but not mutiny clause should be changed, and that should be changed. That should be fixed. But I want to respond to what Jamie and Alex and Ben have been saying, which is just to ask why. Like, why I've heard you all saying, and genuinely, I've heard you all saying that we need a leader, not that we need a chair. I've heard the arguments, Jamie, that you've been presenting for why we need, or why the debunking. I kind of want to say debunking, like this kind of like arguments that you've been putting, counter arguments that you've been putting forward, Jamie, for the arguments that I presented in why, as to why the chair position is not necessary, I think make a lot of sense and certainly weaken a lot of my arguments. And are well taken. Thank you for pointing them out. I think at the core of it, though, what I hear many of you saying, well, at least what I hear the three of you saying, is this concept of we need a leader. And I really would like someone to explain that concept to me without an appeal to history or culture.
Okay,
because if you are appealing to history, that is fault. And if you are appealing to culture, that is fault. We do not need, we are looking forward to the future. We are pirates. That's my question.
Okay, thank you, Yuri. Mitch is next.
Yari, I will disagree on that last point of not leaning on history or culture, just because I do think that that's near impossible to not look at, because you do have to look at history. You have to know history and understand history, and you learn from history. So not looking at history, I think, is not the...
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
That being said, I look at leadership positions. When you talk about revolutionary leadership, I think about what happened with like the Communist Party and Lenin, where while I say this with caution, I do not consider myself Leninist by any stretch of the imagination, but just know that Lenin was taking the leadership role, and when he left came Stalin. And the reason I bring this up specifically is when you put the power and the leadership in one person, quickly it can turn, quickly it can go bad. And granted, we are not the Communist Party. The pirates don't operate like a communist party. We operate as a communalist party, if anything, that we are a collective, we are a co-op. Which, that being said, is why I do think leading by example might be the way to go here. Jamie, I do agree that not having a leadership would be vastly different from the rest of the pirates, that no other pirate party has abolished their leadership role. These are all very good points, and I have been on the fence. I initially had suggested the 5 regional leadership with the rotating president, the same way that like Switzerland does it. And I was I haven't been talked out of it, but I've been talked down from it for now. I still think it's the better system, but I'm not going to sit here and advocate for it right now. I'm just saying that if we are looking for what feels the most in tune with our values, it's a step in the right direction. To Yari's point, it doesn't have to be permanent. I think it's worth the consideration. I understand, and it has validated every concern I've heard. Jamie, you're actually starting to sway me back in the other direction, admittedly. But I'm just not 100% convinced we are giving this the full consideration of what this could mean, not just for us, but for the pirate movement in general. I think it would be a good precedent to set, but I will. That is how I'll end my statement for now. And one more thing, and I apologize, Ben. You said what are pirates but rule breakers? We're so much more than that. We are the innovators of democracy of the modern age. Marcus Rediker, Villains of All Nations. It is a fantastic book. Everyone should read it. This is how I end my statement.
All right, thank you, Mitch. Admittedly, I still need to read it. I will, I promise. I believe everything you say about it. It's going to be a great book, but I'm a college student and I'm also a procrastinator, so you know. Jamie, you're next.
I'm still thinking if someone else wants
Actually,
to
it was Alex was next.
Well, I think Jamie raised his hand and then he might have lowered it, but Alex is next in line, so Alex.
Yo, what's up? Okay, so I'm gonna go over a few things because a lot was brought up. Let me scroll up here. Hold up. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is that when we're talking about when we were talking about inspiring a swarm, something that unfortunately I'm gonna have to appeal to history here is what the People's Crusade versus the regular crusades that occurred. And what we've seen is, you know, with the People's Crusades, where there was no real leader of those crusades, it was kind of just a people's movement that they're just like, we're gonna go to the Holy Land and we're gonna fight as a swarm, or you know, without any sort of organized structure. That thing fell apart immediately, and they actually resulted in, what was it? They stopped at Belgrade, I believe, before they were turned back, something like that. That was just an example I wanted to bring up where I saw the you need to have some sort of organized structure in order to mobilize the swarm, so to speak. You need to have the proper infrastructure in place so that when you mobilize that swarm to go forth, there is a structure behind it. There is infrastructure to support it. The other thing I wanted to bring up is I understand that a big thing about this when it comes to the chairman position is it's rooted in a lot of the being against it is being rooted in ideology. And something I wanted to talk about is that one of the biggest two things I would say for you is we can agree that the Stair Party and the Pirate Party is larger than the Stair Party, but in general, compared to like something like the Green Party or the People's Party or something like that, we are relatively small compared to them. And what we have to understand is because of that, we have to find a method to punch well above our weight. And one of the ways you do that is you move quicker than the, I don't want to use competition because I don't like to see third parties as competition. But you have to, in order to build your movement quick, you need to have a bureaucracy that is decisive and efficient. And in order to do that, you need leaders to make those decisions in order to mobilize the swarm. And I think you can do that you can still do that and still have a position where you don't run into authoritarianism like we saw with I guess the French Revolution would be a good situation of that, where the French Revolution turned into a dictatorship. I think you can, as long as you have the checks and balances in place, you can still have good, strong, and decisive leaders and still have checks and balances to make sure those leaders do not become authoritarian. So one of the biggest things I want to bring up here is when you're looking 10, 20 years in the future for the Pirate Party movement in the United States, you have to ask yourself, can we afford to be a slow-moving body at this point in time? And, or, do we have the time to do that? Or will we risk falling behind? And all these great ideals that you have in order to put into practice into the government, the United States government in one form or another, will they be achieved if you decide to go this route?
Thank you, Alex. Is that all you have for now?
Yeah.
Okay, next up is Jamie, if he is ready.
I don't know. Like, the anarchists in Spain in the Spanish Civil War, they had an organization. They had leadership that they duly elected. The civil rights movement had leadership. The various movements that have been successful in U.S. history, unions, for example, have had leadership. And that has helped them to be successful. So looking back at history is important. And while I'm quite willing to go and say, let's try something new, I don't think this is something that I think these types of things like this have been tried and they haven't been successful. And I don't even maintain that this is in any way a swarm. I don't think to get rid of a chair or a vice chair is to encourage a swarm. We are being, if I were to believe that, then I would believe that we are being held back because we have a chair. And that if we just got rid of the chair, we'd have a great swarm. I don't think you can make that assertion. If we are concerned about the chair having too much power, well, then make it easier to remove them. Constrain their power and go through and divide some of their powers up. You know, the last time we went through this process, and when this was brought up, one of the topics of discussion was, okay, well, what can we take about, let's go back and look at this and see if we can take things away from the chair in order to better distribute the work. And I know I've been off dealing with state and local stuff, so I haven't been active in in helping in this process. But was that done, or are we didn't do that and we're just revisiting the same thing that we revisited months ago?
All right, can we move on to Ben? I will take that as a yes. Ben, you were next, then
Sorry.
Yari, then I don't think there are any more hands.
Yeah, I just wanted to address Yari's concerns with trying to appeal. I was going to say, can we appeal to the current reality of our system and how things work? I know that we want to change everything and make it different than how it is now, but the way it is now, you need strong leaders to rally behind, or else the party won't grow. People won't have anybody to come behind and be like, I want to have what this person wants. Like, I want the same thing as these people, so then they gravitate to those people to help grow parties. For an example, I guess currently Trump, he gets so much love from the Republicans, even though most people don't really see him as a good leader. But the fact that he is, he talks strong and he can get people to rally behind him helps the Republican Party continue and to continue to grow. The same with the Pirate Party. We need somebody to be there to get people to rally to our causes and actually come and work with us to change things forever. That's all. I'm not sure if that's an appeal to culture or whatever, but I think that's my whole point there.
All right, thank you, Ben. I will be tossing it over to Yari next, and then Alex.
Yeah, sorry, folks. I don't think it was fair of me to try and limit the exact type of arguments that y'all could make. That was truly unfair of me in terms of the debate. That that said, what I was trying to be more clear, what I was trying to actually do was to say more so along the lines of appeal to culture, and specifically to suggest that appeals to human nature are unfounded or upsetting, because usually they are not based in anything practical. History, fine. That said, no, Jamie, to respond directly to your question, I don't think anything was done. I think we are just revisiting this X number of months later, which I imagine is frustrating for you, and now that you pointed it out, is frankly embarrassing for me. You know, I mean, I think I don't know. I think what I want to do from now on with everything I propose is like send it to you 2 weeks in advance, and do maybe like, could you proof this beforehand? Because I'm realizing that you tend to have all the most all the counter arguments that tend to hit me the most effectively, and we always have them come up in meeting. So I think I need to do that from now on. Look out for that. I don't know. I think I am too tired, and I think I need to go back to my schoolwork soon. And we need to table this at some point because we're clearly not getting this finished tonight. I think to respond directly to one of Alex's points, you can have an organized structure without having a chair position, which this proposal does not suggest that you don't have an organized structure. Of course, we're going to have an organized structure. It's not just chaos, right? You know, it's not let loose the hounds, abolish all bylaws or some shit like that. Honestly, what I would say is, there was another argument I was gonna say, but I can't remember what it was because I didn't write down my notes fast enough because everyone is talking about the thing that I wrote. What I want to say a little bit here is like, there's some version of the change here where it's like we experimented with it, we give it 6 months. I think what Jamie has said, a lot of what Jamie has said has made sense to me, in the sense of like core of this, what are we doing it for? Why are we doing it? If the chair position was hampering the effectiveness of this group, why can't we just make it easier to get rid of the chair or to vote the chair out, right? And that makes sense. Here's my sort of counter to that, is that the reason why I want something like this to happen is because I want more of the, essentially, honestly, more shared responsibility more of like not just more of this is what brought this on again is like I know how to do something and Jamie knows how to do something, but then no one else in the group knows how to do it. No one else in the officers knows how to do it. That's the problem, right? AJ knows how to do something. No one else in the officers knows how to do it. That's the problem, right? And if that can be solved just by communication, if this proposal can kickstart that communication, all the better, right? And that's kind of a little bit what I was hoping to do, right? If there's some other proposal or some other version of this that can kickstart that communication just as effectively, hit me with it. I'm all ears, please. But like the problem is right now that like I don't know half of what Jamie does. I don't know any of what Brianna does, right? Any of it. And it's not like I need to know everything that everyone is doing. Don't get me wrong. But there's got to be some more back and forth there. There's got to be some more shared channels of communication there. And I don't know what kickstarts that. This is my attempt at that. This is my attempt at kickstarting that because I think it'll work. Because I propose, like I didn't propose this just take that anyway. Like I proposed this when I was in this position originally, right? I proposed this not because I think it's easier to, not because I want to get rid of the chair or whatever. Okay, that's it.
Okay, thank you, Yuri. I believe Alex is next.
I believe it's. I'm sorry, Alex. I think Jamie's the one who was next.
Yeah, I was gonna say I just put my hand up.
No, you put your hand up before. I thought.
Oh yeah.
I have Yuri, Alex, a note from me, and then Jamie.
Okay. I'll just say it's a one sentence.
Yes.
It just sounds like you guys need more open communications between committees, and that's the long and short of it, at least in my opinion. So yeah.
All right. Thank you, Alex. My note, I'll also make it quick. It was going to be something else, but I'll scratch that and say, watch out. I'm gonna do a strong chair thing here for a second. I don't think we should kick the can down the road here. I'm starting to feel like we're going to motion to table it until a few weeks out or something like that. I don't think we should do it. I think we should lay our emotions here out on the table, and I think we should reach a decision. That can be we move it to some kind of committee for people to work on it, or we could take a vote to kill it and just put that on the record. We can do something like that, but I want us to do something that is in line with how we feel about this motion tonight. There are multiple solutions, but I don't want us to just table it. That feels, I don't like it. That's my suggestion. Jamie, you're next.
Thank you, Yari, for putting this proposal forward, as well as all the kind words. I guess, so one of the things about the US political system is that it's a very entrepreneurial system in some of the worst ways. So as you mentioned, Ben, about Trump is not a member of he doesn't have any position within the Republican Party, but because he was past president, he has leadership and he has influence. In some ways, this is counter to like the Christian Democrats or the social Democrats in Germany, where usually their party leader is also their, if is their prime minister, if they have the majority, or is leader of the opposition or whatever. So there's a duality there that we don't have. And the German Greens are kind of similar to us in that you've got people who are within the party structure, and then you've got people who are just kind of these political entrepreneurs, candidates, and they have their own sets of power. And so in some ways, my concern if we get rid of the chair is, and we're obviously not there yet, but we will have these political entrepreneurs, and we'll have no one who's responsible to the states, and as I would like to see it, as the membership of the party. So that's kind of one reason why I think we need that. But I'm quite willing to sit down with Yari. We've been doing great stuff in the IT group and kind of look at what are the issues, and anyone else who wants to participate, like what are we trying to achieve? Where are we failing, and what do we need to fix in order to do that? I know I haven't been great about IT notes, and I will go back and update as many of them as I can. That was something we're supposed to do. I don't see a lot of notes from meetings there. So it's hard to figure out what different committees are doing if there's no meeting notes. And I'm as bad about that as anyone. So I'm not pointing fingers, just raising that as a point of consciousness. And then finally, if we don't know how to do something, if I'm the single point of failure, I don't want to get hit by a bus, and you all don't want me to get hit by a bus, or Yari to get hit by a bus, or come down with something and knock us out for like 2, 3 or more weeks, because whatever is in our head isn't available to you. So some of that is documenting the things we do so that others can go into the wiki and be like, oh, I'm a new auditor. What the heck am I supposed to do? Well, me as auditor, I should write down, this is what you have to do. You need to get these things in order to do your job. And this is your job. And so having things written down, documented, I don't know, videos, however you want to do it, is, I think, in some step to achieving what I hope I'm interpreting right is what Yari wants. And so I'm willing to sit down if that's what we decide and figure something out. But but yeah, I don't think we should get rid of the chair. I'll leave it at that.
All right. Thank you. I believe next is Mitch.
So, when talking about this issue, this does sound like something that has to really be fleshed out. This isn't something that could be called in one meeting, and this is something that we've discussed for weeks now. It is my proposal, I'm not making the motion just yet, that since we are planning an in-person meeting for PNC 2023, that this might be a discussion point we save for then. To which any proposal changes that we may go through with wouldn't go into effect until PNC 2024. I think that we would need time to process. We would need time to transition. I don't think this is something we could just suddenly say, all right, no more chair. Good job, guys. I think if we are going to go through a radical change of the leadership position, the leadership role, which I do think is something that would be good for the party, we should have all ideas fleshed out, heard, and once the idea of choice is decided, we should have a year to prepare for that. So any proposal, I think, to the chair position should be submitted and discussed for PNC 2023 and not implemented until PNC 2024. That I don't want to make that motion until everyone else has spoken, but that is what I believe the best course of action would be for any changes to the leadership.
Thank you, Mitch. Next is Drew.
Call the question.
I want to chime in and say something similar, which is, I guess that's out of order, but I don't really care. I think my suggestion is, if we don't want to do it, right now at least, we don't want to do it in its current form, instead of doing something like tabling it or something that gives the air that it's going to come back similarly, my suggestion would be that we kill it and we continue to work on it as a pet project informally until something is ready. That being said, there is a motion to call the question. If it fails, we'll go back to our speaker order.
Alex really wants to say something.
Okay. Well, then we should probably go back to just our speaker order. First, I have to let Ben speak.
I don't have anything to say. I put my hand back down.
Oh, all right, Alex.
Okay, I just wanted to say, to quote my stepfather, when he was dealing with corporate politics and trying to get projects through, he pissed off his project manager because he was like, "Oh, we finally got something done." And then he said, "Oh, really? What was that?" And then my stepfather said, "We agreed to meet again." And that is something, that is a big quote for me. So I don't think we should table it. I think we discussed what I've heard at least is what we discussed what we needed to be discussed here. And I agree with Anthony. I think we should just call the vote here, and then informally, if you want to continue the discussion, go ahead. I mean, that's democracy, you know, talk about it, keep debating the idea, keep talking about the idea. But for now, I think call the vote. You know, we've discussed for about an hour now, which is, and I feel like a lot has been said here, and a lot of points have been made, at least enough to call a decision.
Mitch.
I was gonna second Drew's call to the vote.
Okay. Then we will vote. Illinois.
No.
Oh, no to calling the question?
Oh, we're voting.
Oh, wait, no, sorry. Oh, no, sorry.
Point of
No, I got that
information:
right.
we are voting on the motion?
No, we are. Sorry, we are voting on the motion.
Yeah, we're voting to dissolve the.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Yes. So Illinois is a no.
Yeah, Illinois no.
California.
No.
Pennsylvania.
Yes, just to fuck with everybody.
Oh, now we're in suspense. Oh, no, wouldn't wonder because it would be a time. Massachusetts.
No.
All right. The motion fails 3-1-0. All right. We've been here for a while, unless there's any...
Motion to adjourn.
Motion, second.
Third, fourth, fifth.
Are there any objections to adjourning?
No.
No.
Okay, you know what? We're adjourned 10:49 Eastern Time. This is the longest meeting I've chaired, and it looks like I will continue to chair more. So, oh boy. Thank you, everyone, for listening to this. Thank you, everyone, for staying on here for so long. I want to thank our board. I want to thank our guests, Alex, and our observer Ben. I really appreciate this. I'm glad everything went well. I'm glad everything went smoothly, and I look forward to the continued discussions and debates around this issue. If we are ready to cut the stream, I guess the last thing I would just say is vote Pirate. Elections are coming up very soon, November 8th. And while we do have candidates or endorsed candidates such as Ethan Osborne, who is running for Kentucky House seat 4, and I'm sure if you look at any state Pirate Party's page, you'll be able to find people that they've maybe been endorsing that are not necessarily Pirate candidates or Pirate-backed independents or what have you. So you should look at that as well. But just in general, when I say vote Pirate, I know that there aren't that many Pirate candidates to vote for. So what I'd like to do, the message I would like to leave you with for this election is vote with your conscience. Vote for the candidate you really like. Don't care about strategy so much. If there's a third-party candidate that you want to vote for them, please. And also research who you're voting for. There is a chance that a candidate that you might not like because of their party affiliation, you might actually agree with them more. So please, research. Be a responsible citizen. Do your civic duty and vote. First of all, don't just vote Pirate. Vote. And I hope to...
Vote like a pirate.
November 8th. I hope you've registered. You are voting. That is an order. I will be the strong chair right now to say you have to vote. That I'm not compromising on that. Mitch, you wanted to say something.
Yes, I just wanted to really drive the point home that even if he was not associated with the Pirate Party, I do believe Ethan Osborne is the finest candidate running for Congress in the 2022 midterms. The people of Kentucky 4 would be lucky to vote for Ethan Osborne, even if he wasn't the chair of the Kentucky Pirate Party. He is a fantastic candidate. He deserves the support. He deserves the votes. go out and vote. Vote pirate. I'm sorry, Woden's Day. You go ahead, AJ, and finish it out.
Well, that's all I need to say. Vote pirate.
And we're out.